Hey, what's up YouTube? In this video, I'm going to be showing you how to make another YouTuber skin statue. By popular demand, this time I'm going to be showing you how to make iBallisticSquid, and I kind of ran into a predicament whilst I was making him. I couldn't exactly figure out which colour combination best suited the original skin. So what I have for you on the left and the right hand side of the screen are two of my favourite choices. On the left, we have cyan on dark blue, and on the right we have light blue on cyan. Now, I can't figure out which one I like the best, and I wanted to give you guys a couple of options since it's not entirely obvious what colours you are supposed to use looking at the original skin. They're a bit ambiguous. So I thought you guys might also have the same problem, so I'm giving you two choices. All you have to do to make either one, since they are both fundamentally the same, you only have to swap the colours out, all you have to do is pick and choose your colours, but I have them both lined up. I want you guys to choose whichever you like as your favourite and just proceed with the colours that you prefer. So whichever you like, just choose those colours and you'll be good to go. That's all I wanted to say. I'm sorry that I droned on a little long, but let's get to the tutorial. Alright, so if you want to make it, here's what you're going to need. You're going to need cyan wool, light blue wool, red, white, and finally black wool, and they're the only colours you're going to be needing. He doesn't use too many whatsoever, and of course you can substitute out any of those colours for any colour of your choice as we've discussed. So once you've got your colours and once you've figured out where you want to make it, I'm going to be making it right here. Pay no attention to the glowstone or the squid, they're of no relevance, I swear. You're going to want to start out with a row of 8 cyan wool in a row on the floor, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And once you have your row of 8 cyan wool, which is going to be the base layer of our squid, you're going to want to do 3 more exactly like it on top of that first row. So 1, 2, 3, and fill them in. So 2 and 3, giving us 4 rows of 8 cyan wool. This next part's going to be a little unconventional. So what you want to do for the next few rows is you want to take out your light blue wool, and on each end of the next row, you're going to want to go up by 4 with your light blue wool. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and on the other end as well, 1, 2, 3, 4. Giving you something which should look like that. And you're going to want to do something similar for the next 4 rows. You're going to want to take out your cyan wool, and on top of your 4 light blue, you're going to want to do 4 cyan. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and on the other side as well, 1, 2, 3, 4. Then, what you want to do, after you've done that, to complete Mr. Squid's legs, all we have to do is fill in everything in between those 8 rows that we've just formed with cyan wool. So, however you want to do that, I personally like to go up and down with the colour, just to fill it in a little bit quicker, as I find. But however you want to do it, all that matters is you end up with something which should look like that. Very easy. Pause it if necessary, those are iBallisticSquid's entire legs. Once you've done that, we can move on to the torso. So the torso is going to be filled in a little unconventionally as well. So what you're going to want to do, on top of the top row of our legs, officially entering the torso, on the left hand and soon to be right hand side, you're going to want to do a row of 12 cyan wool going directly up. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And on the other side as well. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And then you just want to connect those 2 rows of 12 together at the top to give you a giant rectangle, like so. What you then want to do with your rectangle is come up to the top of it, and on the inside of the rectangle you want to place a single cyan wool just underneath the 3rd block at the top, so right here. And you also want to place a single cyan wool in the top right hand corner of the rectangle, so right there, giving you something which should look like that. You also want to place 2 blocks in the bottom right hand corner of our rectangle going up, so 1, 2, like that. So you're going to want to have something which should look like that. And once you've done that, you can proceed to fill in that entire middle section with light blue wool. So again, however you like to fill things in, left to right, right to left, diagonally, up and down, however you want to do it. All that matters is you fill in that entire middle section in with light blue wool. Pretty easy so far. No one accused this statue of being too difficult. So that's what you want for the torso. Pause that if necessary. Let me show you what you want together so far. The legs and the torso together. Pause that if necessary. Once you've done that, we can move on to the arms. So you're going to want to come about midway up our statue, and the arms sit in line with this row here, the first row of the torso, where we have this first row of light blue wool. And all you want to do is you want to extend that row out either side by 4 with your cyan wool. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and on the other side as well. So 1, 2, 3, 4, to give you something which should look like that. And I am going to be working on the right arm first, as if it's even a decision. I always go to the right arm. So coming over to this right arm, and how I like to build the arms is this. I like to work from outwards to inwards, so from right to left, and I just like to call out the colours of the arms because they are very easy. They are only 4 rows to deal with, or 4 blocks out of the row to deal with, I should say. So for the next row, on top of this first row of 4 cyan, you're just going to want to throw on another row of cyan, so there. Then, for the next row, going right to left, you want to do 1 cyan, 1 light blue, 2 cyan. Then the next row after that is entirely cyan. Then we're going to get a little unconventional again. So on the most outward row, right here, on top of this block, you're going to want to do 5 light blue going directly up. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then you're just going to want to, that 4th block of light blue, the one right next to the top, you're just going to want to extend it out to the left, going towards the torso by 1 with your light blue. And then all you want to do is fill in the rest of the arm right up towards the shoulder with cyan wool. That is the only detailing in the arm. So however you want to do that, if you want to build up the rows from the bottom going towards the top, if you want to make it a shape as I like to do and then fill it in, however you want to do it, that's up to you. All that's important is you end up with something which should look like that. Pause that if necessary, of course. Once you've done that, we can move on to the other arm, and I'm going to be doing this ever so slightly faster as the arms are symmetrical. They're a mirror image. You can, if you've got one arm, you can make the other. So coming over to this other arm here, on top of the first row of 4, you want to add on another row of cyan. Next row, going outwards to inwards, 1 cyan, 1 light blue, 2 cyan. Next row, entirely cyan. Right after that, we get a little crazy. We do 5 light blue going directly up on top of the end row, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Extend that towards the center. Then fill the rest of the arm in with a cyan wool. So you're going to want to have something which should look like that, and that is Mr. Squid's upper body. And pause that if necessary, of course, and let me show you what you want all together. It doesn't look that impressive, does it? Not really. Oh well. Pause that if necessary. Once you've done that, we can get to work on the back, because that is the entire front of our statue done, minus the head, of course. So once you have done that, and I'm pretty sure I've already said this, but I'm on a roll. Once you have done that, pause that if necessary, and we can get to work on the back. So coming down to the bottom of our statue, and I always find the words difficult to say here, but you just kind of want to extend your statue back by 3 rows from the edge of the feet. And you want to do this with your cyan wool, so just do this. 1, 2, 3, and on the other side. 1, 2, 3. I always find that part really difficult to explain. I always end up, again, as with a lot of things, I always trip over my words because I'm not exactly sure what I'm supposed to say. But it's very easy what you've got to do. You want to do that. And then what you want to do, once you've got your 2 rows of 3 cyan wool coming out from the back of our statue, you just want to connect them together at the back like that with another entire row of cyan wool. And of course, what you've done there is you've given yourself the first row of the back of the statue, and that's what we're going to be building up from. We're going to be doing the back exactly like we did the front, legs, back, arms. So for now, you just want to focus on these 8 blocks that we have here in a row on the back. You just want to ignore these 2 side blocks that we have here on the left and the right hand side. So getting to work. For the second row of the back, it just wants to be an entire row of cyan wool. So you want to have in total for the back 2 rows of 8 cyan wool. Then we're going to be getting a little crazy again. So for each side of the leg, so on the left and the right hand side, you're going to want to go up by 8 with your light blue wool. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and I realise it's getting dark, but I just want to do this. And on the other side of the row as well, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then, what you want to do on top of those 2 rows of 8, you just want to go up by 2 on top of each row with your cyan wool. And that will take you right to the top of the leg. And we've just got a little bit more work to do here. So what you want to do, you know what, it is getting ever so slightly dark, so I'll leave it here, I'll cut out, and I will be back to continue on the back of the legs. Alright, so continuing on, what you want to do after you have done that, after you've done your 2 rows of 8 light blue, followed by the 2 little rows of 2 cyan, what you then want to do for the first row here, or technically it's the 3rd row of the back, you just want to fill this row in here with cyan wool. You then want to take out your light blue, and directly next to each row of light blue that you have, you just want to do a row of 5 light blue, like just next to it. So like this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, just leaving 2 away from the top, and on the other side as well, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, just leaving 2 away from the top to give you something which should look like that. And once you're in this position, pause that if necessary of course, all you want to do is just fill in the entire middle section in between however many rows that is, 9 rows in with your cyan wool. So kind of like we did at the front, kind of like we've done with the arms, legs, everywhere. Seems to be the method of building Mr. Squid. So those are the back of Mr. Squid's legs. Pause that if necessary. Once you've done that, we can get to work on the back of the statue. So I've said this now about 4 times. It's always weird to say the back of the statue, since like the entire back of the statue is the back of the statue, but this is like his back. If you understand my meaning, I may just be insane. It's possible. Oh, it's definitely possible, alright. Anyway, continuing on. So we're going to be doing this very similar to how we did the torso. So, oh, and by the way, just if you want to check if you're right with the back of the legs, the top row should sit just underneath the arms and this bit here. So if you want to make sure you've done the correct amount of rows, the top row should just sit right here, underneath here. So anyway, as we did with the torso, you're going to want to do 2 rows of 12 on the left and right hand side and connect them together at the top, just like we did on the front. So I'm not even going to count these out since we have the top of the torso to measure this out. Just make sure they're, you know, in line with each other, and just do your 2 rows of 12 and then connect them together at the top to give you that rectangle that we did earlier. So you're going to want to have something which should look like that. You guys shouldn't have too much trouble with that, right? Nah, I didn't think so. So we're going to be doing pretty much the exact same method that we did earlier as well. So you want to, at the top of this rectangle, you're going to want to, starting from the top left hand corner, you're going to want to do 4 cyan coming towards the right here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, like so, just leaving 2 empty blocks on the right hand side here. And then coming back down to the 2nd row, or the 3rd row from the top, I suppose. Right here, you just want to do 2 cyan coming down. So you want to have something which should look like that. Pause that if necessary. Once you've done that, we're going to be doing a similar thing at the bottom here. So coming down to the bottom, you're going to want to do this little shape in the bottom left-hand corner. You just want to do kind of like an L shape like that in the bottom left-hand corner. And then you just want to, coming from the right here towards the center, you just want to do 3 cyan coming towards the center, just leaving that little space by its lonesome. So that's what you want for the bottom of the back. And again, let me just show you the top as well, included in this. So that's what you want for the back. You want a shape which looks kind of like that, and I know it kind of melds into the front, but you know, you want to have that. Pause that if necessary. Once you've done that, you can just fill that entire section in with light blue wool. So again, however you want to do it, up, down, left, right, zigzags, diagonals, lightning bolts, however you want to accomplish that, you go ahead and do it. So that is the back. Pause that if necessary. Let me show you the whole back of the statue that we have so far, legs included. Alright, so that's what you want thus far for the back of the statue. Pause that if necessary. Once you've done that, we can get to work on the back of the arms. So, coming over to our statue again, the back of the arms are in line with the front of the arms, as you might imagine. And they start off the same, so you just want to extend out from the back here by 4 with your cyan wool, just as you did on the front. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and I'm going to do the other side whilst I'm at it as well. 1, 2, 3, 4, to give you something which should look like that, and that should look a little bit familiar. And we're going to be starting on the left side first, because that's how I do. So coming over to this, well, it's not the left arm, or is it his left arm? Yeah, I suppose it is his left arm, but it's his right side depending on how you look at it. We're on the left side of the back, we're doing that on first. So for the second row, you're just going to want to do an entire row of cyan wool. And then here's where things get a little unconventional again. So on the most outward row right here, you're going to want to, with your light blue, do a row of 8 light blue going directly up. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You're then going to want to the right of that row that you've just made, do a row of 7 light blue wool. So you don't really have to count it out, you just have to make the row 1 shorter to the right of it. And then you're going to want to do a row of 3 light blue, like in the middle of that row, like to the right of it. It's kind of hard to explain, but you guys will see what I mean when I do it. So you just want to do a row of 3 there, and all you have to do is make sure that you've knocked 2 off of the top and the bottom, as you can see. You just want to do that. So pause that if necessary, that's the only detail that goes into the arm. You just want to fill the rest of it in with cyan wool. So make it up to the top of the shoulder and then fill it in. That's how I like to do things. So going to want to have something which should look a little bit like that. So that is the back of the left arm. Pause that if necessary. Once you've done that, we're going to be doing the exact same thing over here on the right hand side. So where did we begin? We first did a row of cyan wool on top of our base layer, so right here. Then took out our light blue, and on the most outward row we did a row of 8 going up with our light blue. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Then we did a row of 7 just next to it, so don't count it out, just knock 1 away from the top. Then we did a row of 3 light blue wool directly in the middle of the row of 7 coming towards the statue to give you something which should look like that, and that's all the detail you need. Pause that if necessary. Once you've done that, you just want to fill the rest of the arm in with cyan wool. So again, however you want to accomplish this task, that is up to you. And I noticed the sun's getting a little low again, so let me just show you what you want for the entire back. Going to want to have something which should look like that. Pause that if necessary. Once you've done that, we're going to get to work on the sides, and of course, since it is getting ever so slightly dark, shadows are being incorporated now. I will cut it out here, and then we can begin on the sides. So, alright, so once you've finished with the back, we can get to work on the sides, and I'm going to be starting on this side right here, which is the left or the right hand side, depending on how you look at it. You guys can see which side I'm on. So you're going to want to come down to the bottom of the legs here, and I'm going to be doing it like this. I'm going to be filling in this left column right to the top first, and then the right column right up to the top. So this left column here, just on top of the little single block of cyan that we have here, you're going to want to do 1 cyan on top of it, followed by 8 light blue wool. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Then followed by 2 cyan again. Give you something which should look like that. Then just to the right of it, we're going to be doing something a little bit different. You're going to want to do 1 cyan, then 7 light blue wool, so just fill it up until it is 1 shorter than the row right to the left of it, and then just fill the rest of the leg in with cyan wool to give you something which should look like that. Pause that if necessary. So once you've done the legs, you're going to want to move up to the side of the arms. So you're going to want to start off by filling in the bottom of the hands entirely in with cyan wool to give us the first row of the side of the arms here. And I'm going to be doing this exactly like I did the legs. So left column first, right column second. So left column here, just calling out the colours, you're just going to want to do 1 light blue, 1 cyan, 8 light blue, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then single cyan to finish it off. Then for this right column, and of course I'll give you a little bit of view of that, pause that if necessary. And this right column here, you just go on mixing my words here, you're going to want to do 3 cyan wool, followed by 6 light blue. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then fill the rest of the row in with cyan wool to give you something which should look like that. And that's the side of the arm. Pause that if necessary. Once you've done that, you can just proceed to fill in the top of the shoulder with cyan wool, and you only have to come in by 3 with your cyan wool. So towards the center, you just have to come in by 3. And let me just show you the whole side together. So I just want to have something which should look a little bit like that. Pause that if necessary. Once you've done that, we can get to work on the other side of the statue. So the other side of the statue is going to be extremely easy. Want to know why? Because all you have to do is look directly forward and copy what you have on that there other side. So that's exactly what I'm going to be doing. Just copying what I have, what I've done. That seems to be right. Onto this other side. Not even looking at my plans, don't need to. Just need to have a look all the way through and see what I've done. And of course, if you get stuck, if this method isn't working for you, you just have to go and actually have a look all the way over at this other side here if you want, and you can just memorize it and go all the way back over it and copy what you have on that side, since they are symmetrical. Both sides are the same, and the same for the top of the arms as well. So just copy what you have on that there other side and you will be fine. So that comes right up to there, and then on this side we've got some cyan. 1, 2, 3 cyan. Then that comes 1 lower, it would seem. Fill the rest of the shoulder in, or the rest of the arm in with cyan. Pause that if necessary, of course, and then proceed to fill in the shoulder. Only have to go 3 deep because the head will take care of the rest. Then let me show you this side together. Sorry if I did that a little quick, but as I said, all you have to do, literally, just look straight forward, and you don't need my instructions. You already have it there, just waiting to be copied. Alright, so that's all you want for that side of the statue. Pause that if necessary, and once you've done that, we can get to work on the head. So that's assuming that you've done the entire front, entire back, and entire sides of your statue. Once you are at this point, you're going to want to come to the front of your statue, and on top of the 8 blocks of the torso, these blocks right here that I'm highlighting, you're going to want to do a row of 8 cyan wool directly on top of them. So exactly like that. What you then want to do is 2 more rows of 8 cyan wool coming towards you from that row that you've just made. So 1 row and 2 rows. And of course, you just want to make sure that that overhangs the front of the statue by 2 rows like that. So that is going to give us the first row of our face, and that's how I like to make the heads of the statues. I like to bring it forward like this, make the face, back of the head, side of the head, top of the head, we're done. So that's exactly how this is going to work. So this being the first row of the face, we've got to amend it a little bit. So the right middle block, so this one right here, you just want to knock that out, replace it with a light blue wool, leaving you 3 cyan just to the right of it. Just had to make that little amendment. So for the left row, for the second row of our face, working from left to right, you're going to want to do this little color combination. You're going to want to do 1 cyan wool, 1 light blue, 1 white, 1 red, 1 white, 1 red, 2 cyan. For the next row, you're going to want to place a single cyan on the right hand side of the row, a light blue on the left hand side of the row, and then red everywhere else. Then, for the next row, you're going to want to do something not at all similar actually. You're going to want to place a light blue on the left and right hand side of the row, a white next to the light blue, and then red everywhere else. For the next row, you're going to want to place a single light blue wool on the ends of the row, and then red everywhere else. Next row, light blue on the left and right hand side, white wool right next to it, red everywhere else. The row after that, we've got to make from left to right again. You're going to want to do 2 cyan, 1 white wool, 1 red, 1 white, 1 red, 2 cyan. For the 8th and final row, you're going to want to do 2 light blue in the 2 middle spots, and cyan everywhere else, and that will give you iBallisticSquid's entire face. So that's what you want to have. Pause that if necessary. Once you've done that, we can get to work on the rest of the head. So coming around to the back of the head, you're going to want to, from this original row of the head right here, this row of 8 cyan wool, you're going to want to extend it back towards the back of the statue by 3 rows with your light blue wool. So 1, 2, and 3. Then you want to do 2 additional rows with your cyan wool. So 1 and 2. And from the side, this is what it should look like. And as you can see, it just wants to overhang the back of the statue by 2 rows of cyan wool. So once you've done that, we're going to be building up this back row here to be the back of the head, very similar to how we've just done the front. So first of all, we've got to make another amendment. The left middle block, you want to knock that out again, replace it with light blue wool, just leaving 3 cyan to the left of it. And then this is going to seem very familiar how we're going to be doing this next part. So on the left and the right hand side of the next row, you're just going to want to go up by 7 with your cyan wool. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and on the other side as well. So I'm not even going to bother counting them out because it should just line up with the top of the head. So you just want 2 rows of 7 on the left and the right hand side. You then want to connect them together at the top, so like so, to give you a cyan square. Kind of said that weird, cyan square. Pause that if necessary. Once you've done that, this is going to seem even more familiar. You're going to want to come to the top of our square, and in the top left hand corner you just kind of want to do an L shape, like reinforce the corner, like so. And you want to do a similar thing on the right hand side, except you want to do an extra block coming towards the center on the second top row. So you want to have a shape which looks like that. Pause that if necessary. For the bottom of our square, you simply want to place a single cyan wool in both corners, like that. So you're going to want to have something which should look like that. And then you can just fill in the shape that you have in the middle with light blue wool. So however you want to accomplish that, you do that to give you something which should look like that. And once you finish doing that, pause that if necessary, we can move on to the side of the head. So I'm going to be starting on this side right here, the right or left hand side depending on how you're looking at it, but you guys can see which side I'm on. So first of all, once you're at the side of the head, you're going to want to connect the front and the back of the head together with a row of cyan. Hopefully a lot better than I'm doing. I seem to be messing up, but there we go. I've finally managed it. 3rd time's a charm. You want to have something like that, so you want to turn the side of the head into a cube, or a square rather, since it's not a cube, it's a square. So you want to have that. Then what you want to do, again this is going to seem a little familiar, at the top right hand corner you want to place a single cyan wool. You want to place 2 light blue coming towards the left of it. Then you want to place 2 cyan coming further to the left towards the back of the head. What you then want to do underneath this right cyan here, you want to do this little shape with white wool and place a single black wool on top of there to give you the eye of Mr. Ballistic Squid. Excuse me. I apologise for that cut. I had the postman banging on the door, you might have heard it. So, continuing on, you want to basically have done that. Very easy to see. I didn't really feel the need to explain it because it should be quite simple to see what I've done there. You just want to have placed the eye exactly like that. I showed you where to place the cyan, and in relation you can see where the eye is, so you should be able to figure that out quite easily. So, once you are at this point, you just want to fill in the rest of the side of the head with light blue wool. So, come on dexterity, come on. So you want to be left with something which should look like that. Pause that if necessary. Once you've done that, we can get to work on the other side of the head, and this is going to be extremely easy because just as with this side of the statue, you just have to look over and see what you've done. So again, just have a look over, see what you've done on that side of the head, and just apply it to this one. They are exactly the same, so you don't need my instruction for this. If you've managed that other side of the head, you can manage this side of the head, and you can see what I've done there. So It's very easy. It's only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 blocks anyway. So you want to put yourself in that position, and then you just want to fill in the rest of the head with light blue wool. So, do-do-do, do-do-do. You want to be left with something which should look like that. And of course, as always, pause that if necessary. Once you've done that, we just have the top of the head to fill in. So coming up to the top here, and I made this, or at least I took the image facing this way, so I've got to make it from like back coming forward, otherwise I'll get confused. So, you know, coming from the back towards the front, you're going to want to do this. So you just want to do 2 solid rows of light blue wool. Next row, on the right hand side, you just want to do a single cyan, fill the rest of the row in with light blue. Rest of the row, completely light blue. Row after that, you just want a single cyan wool on the right hand side, followed by 3 light blue coming towards the left, then cyan wool everywhere else in the row, and then the 7th, 6th, I cannot do math. Math. Whatever. The 6th and final row just wants to be cyan. In the end, you want to be left with something like that. Don't make fun of my math skills. I've seen you guys do it in the comments, it's very hurtful. Not really, I don't care. There you go, that's what you want for the top of the head, and I'm going to cut it out now. Alright, so there's only one more thing left for me to do, and that's give you a nice 360-degree view of our iBallisticSquid statue. I've shown you how to do everything, I've shown you how to make the entire body, the entire head, and you should be left with something which should look a little bit like this, and it's a pretty nice looking statue, if I do say so myself. He's not one of my favourites that I've made, but he's not one of the worst either. He's very middle of the pack. What always improves these statues to me is if there's like 3D parts to them, and I know the entire statue's 3D, but like if there's something out of the ordinary, let's say if in the original skin the mouth was like concaved, so it was like an actual mouth, that'd improve it a lot. But I'm not in the business of really, you know, improving the statues, air quotes on improving, of changing the statues too much, because you guys want to see your favourite YouTubers, you don't want to see, you know, my take on them. But there you go, that is Mr. Squid entirely done. I hope this was easy enough to follow, I hope it was useful in some way, shape or form, I hope that I've done it justice. It was one of the more difficult ones to figure out how I was going to make, because, you know, there's a fine line between too much detail and making it look terrible, to be quite frank. So I hope I've done it justice. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next one. Hey, if you enjoyed this video, maybe you should think about subscribing. I have plenty more stuff like this on my channel.